Okay, what is up, people? Hope everyone is doing good this Wednesday morning. As always, guys, if you are enjoying the content on the channel, finding it useful, please be sure to drop a like on the stream, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell if you haven't done already so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. But yeah, guys, welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone's doing good. What's up, Tashi? Welcome to the stream. Good morning, FX Wolf. As always, hope you're doing good. Good morning. Euro NZD we'll take a look at. Sculpey, what is good? Welcome to the stream, my man. FX Wolf, dollar yen, we'll take a look. Order, what is up? Good day to you as well. What's up, Anus? Welcome to the stream, my man. Hope you're doing good. Any pairs you guys are looking at this morning? Yeah, drop any pairs you guys are looking at. We've seen some big moves across the board. Well, not really across the board. Actually, yeah, across the board, to be honest. Yeah, we've been seeing some big moves in the market, especially Aussie, New Zealand pairs. Yen pairs looking very bullish at the moment as well. So the markets are starting to move. I think we have kind of woken up for January. A little bit late, but the market is starting to move again, which is a good thing for us traders. But yeah, we'll go through a bunch of pairs. I'll start with Euro NZD, we'll go through dollar yen as well. We'll go for the yen pairs. FX Wolf, I'm long Euro NZD. Okay, we'll go take a look. First seeing a lady here. We've had a few ladies here during the streams. It's not all guys. I mean, I think my subscription is like 95% male, so there is not many ladies, but there are a few. Good morning, Joseph. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Okay, let me go through some pairs. Okay, I'll start with Euro NZD since that was requested first. Where are you long from, FX Wolf? Where's your entry, or where's your target? Where are you looking to take the trade to? But yeah, Euro NZD was very bullish yesterday, and of course it is still pretty bullish today. I'm still eyeing up some shorts for this one, but I want price to keep going a little bit higher, back to around 1.79. And that's when I'll start to look to short the pair. I'll start to look for entry patterns at that area to start looking for some sells. But yeah, I'm longer term bearish on the pair, but I do want to see this momentum continue at least back to 1.79, and then that's when I'll start looking for some shorts. But yeah, whereabouts is your target? How far are you looking to take the trade? What's the plan for the position? But we've seen some really nice momentum to the upside. What news did we have yesterday? Because AUD was very weak, NZD is very weak. We had pound, which was very strong this morning. Let me double check. Okay, so we did have some pound news this morning. Inflation rate, okay, came out. Ooh, interesting. That's probably why pound was so bullish. We had some China news, but I'm not seeing any AUD or NZD, but I think they might be correlated in some way. Had some Euro news as well, and of course Euro CPI just came out at 10 as well, and they've got some dollar news later on. So there's been a bit of news, and of course the markets are reacting quite aggressively, which is great, as long as no one's on the wrong side of that. But I do like to see when the markets are moving. But yeah, Euro NZD, I still would be looking for some shorting opportunities, but as I said, any price trading around here before I start looking to sell. And again, it doesn't have to be specifically this level. Could go up a little bit higher before it does potentially reverse. But at least in this area here is where I'm looking to sell, or at least start looking to sell. But I would imagine Euro NZD still got some upside left. We really struggled to break through the low. We really struggled to break through the low here on the left. Looks like we are starting to break out that consolidation, and if we can remain above that and remain with that momentum, I would imagine us to go and hit 1.79. We've taken out these highs on the left as well, so it does look like there is more upside to be had for USD as well. I think pound NZD was flying. So yeah, big move to the upside there for pound NZD. Of course, we did have the pound news, which kind of helped price push up higher. Not as much as USD, but they could be looking to follow one another. But yeah, massive move to the upside for pound NZD. I was looking for some shorting opportunities at this area. Didn't really materialize how I wanted it to. We were seeing some nice corrective behavior, but I wanted the price to start giving me some bearish structure before I then looked to sell. And yeah, we just remain bullish. And of course, with the news coming out, big move to the upside. And another one we had a big move to the upside for was pound Aussie, which had a crazy move to the upside, which I was not expecting. We just about taken out some key highs there on the left as well. So I'm starting to back away from the shorting opportunities that could or could not develop. We still could see some downside, but I'm not really interested in shorting at the moment. I was talking about pound Aussie yesterday, saying that this does look like a potential V-shape pattern, which typically means the market is likely to move higher. So I would be backing away from the setup anyway. But now that we've taken up the highs there as well, not really a good sign for the bears there. Potentially price could be looking to push higher. I'm still not really looking to buy the market, especially coming back into that high. But I'm not really looking to sell the market as of yet. I'll see how the daily candle closes, but not looking good to sell. This has been a crazy move to the upside there for pound Aussie. Let me take a look at dollar yen. So I'll go through dollar yen. And again, the yen pairs have been flying. GA decided to go to the moon 100%. GA and pound NZD as well. Both of them decided, let's go to the moon. They're looking extremely bullish. Again, I'm not really looking to buy the market. I'm still kind of overall bearish, but after taking out that wick high, I do have to take a back seat now. Of course, it potentially could be a fake move. Maybe price comes down aggressively the following day, but we don't know that yet. So I'm kind of just staying on my toes a little bit, not really looking to short the market, but waiting to see how things develop. Do we keep breaking higher? Is potentially price looking to continue this uptrend back to the highs there? Possibly. I'm not too sure if I favor that at the moment. It would be quite a move if we are going to see that, but of course anything can happen in these markets. But yeah, pound Aussie, big move to the upside, taking out the highs there. I'm going to take a back seat before looking to jump into any sells at the moment. Let me go through dollar yen. So dollar yen looking pretty bullish as well. Nice candle closure yesterday, really breaking away. So for dollar yen, I would imagine the next key level of interest would be 150, back at these prior swing highs. Of course, big move to the downside. Another one not too long ago. I would imagine that price is now back above 145 and most likely will go back and test that 150 area. So simply for dollar yen, I would just be looking for pullbacks and continuations back to 150. Of course, you don't have to look to push the trade that far, but in that direction makes the most sense to me. So pullbacks, retest of some highs would make the most sense, and looking to find that next kind of higher low in this structure. And 150 looks like the next key target on the higher time frames that dollar yen could be pushing towards. But yen is still unbelievably weak right now. Euro yen's flying. Well, we're seeing some upside. Pound yen, we're seeing some upside as well. Of course, pound strength helped that, but yen is still pretty weak across the board, I would say. Aussie, New Zealand dollar are both pretty weak as well, so kind of a mismatch there, but across the board, yen is still pretty weak. Okay, finally switched my bias and GU sells and CHF Wed buys. Okay, we'll take a look. Thank you so much, James Harris, for subscribing. Appreciate it. Finally switched my bias in GU sells and CHF Wed buys. Okay, we'll take a look at both of those pairs. FX will for 1.76469. That's for Euro NZD. Okay, let's have a look. See, 1.76469. Okay, that's around about here-ish on the break and retest of that high there, I would imagine maybe. But yeah, it looks good. It looks good. What's how are you looking to manage the trade? Are you trading stop loss? Do you have a target in mind? What's the plan with the trade? But sitting some nice profit there, I would imagine. Rosangela, welcome to the stream. Any advice from gold? Yep, I will take a look at gold, no problem. Kelvin, welcome to the stream. Good morning. Caspero, I keep fumbling your name. Well, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Do you think gold can retest 2000 weekly? Is looking bearish yet? I will take a look at gold. Let me just go through pound USD CHFJY and I'll take a look at gold. So yeah, you said you're looking to sell pound USD. I'm looking to sell pound USD as well, but it is very, very important we break through 1.26. Of course, off the back of the pound news, pound is looking extremely bullish right now. If you compare it to the euro, you can see the size of the candles are a big difference. So with pound USD, we're still kind of firmly holding on to this level of support. Potentially, we could be coming back to retest some areas up here and then sell off. That is, of course, a possibility. Not the biggest fan of that move. If we had a bigger move to the downside yesterday, so let's say we had a really confident breakout, then price pull back to those areas, then I would be a bit more inclined, because at that point, we have a bit more healthy bearish structure to play with, and I could see that move happening if we didn't have a retest of this level here. So I'll be a bigger fan of that move, of that trade idea, if we had a bigger move to the downside, but we didn't. We kind of just respected that low. So not to say that it can't happen. We can't, retest these areas and come back down again and, of course, go a lot further. But overall, I'm still kind of boxing off pound USD as in this big range. And as long as we're in that range, I'm not really interested in the price action from a point of view of placing trades. I'm still bearish on pound USD, so the bias, we do agree on bias. I'm looking for price to eventually come back to 1.245, but in terms of trading opportunities, I would have liked to see price kind of break out, retest that area, and then find some opportunities on the back end of that. That would be kind of my optimal trade opportunity. Of course, it hasn't happened. Still could happen. We still could see the continuation. But right now, we're still trading in the range. So pound USD, for me, the price action is still very choppy, still very range bound. And yeah, it's just a little bit difficult to find really good opportunities in these conditions. So my interest more kind of lies with Euro USD, which has had a slightly healthier breakout. I'm still hoping this one can push a little bit further down first, but then a retest of that area, that would interest me for some sells. At least for this one, I've had a cleaner breakout and some nice impulse momentum, which has actually taken out some lows with Euro. Not perfect, but it's a little bit better than pound, so that's kind of where my focus is. But yeah, pound USD, I would imagine eventually the market will form a lower high at some point, whether it's a retest of this area, whether we come retest the highs, that'll be up to pound USD, but I am looking for something like this sooner or later. CHFJPY, you said you're in buys for that one. That one's more or less back at the highs, I would imagine. Yeah, we've just come into the highs. So again, what's the plan for this trade here? Because these are the all-time highs for CHFJPY. We've never been past these prices before. Are you taking profit at the high, looking to trail with stop loss, see how far price can go? What's the plan for the trade? I mean, I don't really have too much to say for CHFJPY because, as I said, we're creating some new all-time highs at the moment. There's really nothing to look at these prices apart from the current price action. So, if you go on some buys back into the high, that makes perfect sense. But, now what? Do we break through the highs or do we come back down? It's up to price at that point. So for me, CHFJPY, I'm not really interested in the buys. We've really pushed along quite far. The market's quite overextended. So I'm more interested in the counter opportunities, which of course are a long way away from shaping up. The market is still definitely bullish. So I have to wait for the market to start breaking some structure and forming some lower lows and lower highs. And at that point is when I'll start looking for some sells. But of course, we could still push on another 200 pips if price wants to before we do eventually sell off. But yeah, I mean, I have to say across the board, all time frames are bullish. Monthly, weekly, daily, everything is pointing up. So taking buys in these conditions are not the worst idea. It's just that I would be careful if the highs we're coming back into. But yeah, yen pairs across the board are still pretty bullish. I'll take a look at gold. Excuse me. Okay, so gold again still trading in that big level of higher time frame resistance, which I keep pointing out. But again, it's a huge level of resistance here, so I can only be looking to sell at these prices. Longer term, I would still expect gold to eventually break through the level, but right now the market's still rejecting the area. We've had a big wick to the upside. We've had a few bearish candles from this area. Doesn't really make too much sense for me to be looking to buy at these prices, so I'm still kind of a bear on gold, but I'm not really seeing a good kind of intraday setup to short at the moment. For gold, price is a little bit all over the place, to be honest. It looks like maybe we're forming a head and shoulder pattern, but I think it's a bit of a reach, left, head, right, and this is kind of like the neckline. If price can break through that, things get interesting on some shorts, because at that point, you've probably got a lot more of an established bearish trend to follow, and can take some shorts accordingly. But I have to say, overall price action for gold is not particularly great. Coming back into some key support, I would wait to see if that can break and then short, and we've got some pretty clear targets back down around 1980. Someone asked if gold could potentially move down to 2k. I would imagine if we do break 2020, I would say 2000 is pretty has a pretty high chance of getting hit. I'd imagine us at least come back to this area here. Had a lot of momentum from that particular price point. So if we do break through 2020, which is kind of the level the market is holding now, I would imagine 2000 and then 1980s is the most likely places the market's going to head to next. But will we break through the support? I'm not too sure. We've had multiple rejections of this area. Market's still holding pretty firmly, so whether we break through or not is another question. But again, I wouldn't be looking to buy at these prices, as for the reasons I've just explained. We're at a big level. Market's failing to print higher highs now. You can see you've got one high over there, second over there, third. We're struggling at continuing bullish, so it's again not really a good sign to buy, at least from a swing perspective. Day trading, scalping, you can take advantage of some shorter term moves, but from a swing perspective, it's a little bit difficult to find some good buys at these prices. So if I'm looking at gold, I'd rather just wait to see if we can break through this area here, get some pullbacks going and find some shorts. At least it makes a little bit more sense from a higher time frame point of view. So that's kind of where I'm at for gold. If we can break through 2020, shorts do look interesting. Other than that, I'm kind of just on the sidelines. But there could be some shorter term buys off the back of that level potentially. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with gold. Daniel, I think retail sales for US will be strong after the Xmas period. This is seasonally the case. This should help UJ narrative back to 150 also. Yeah, I mean, I'm favoring more upside for dollar as well, from a technical perspective, not fundamentally. But things are still looking pretty bullish. I mean, if I take a look at the DXY, of course, we had the exceptional breakout to the upside yesterday. And now I'm looking for a pullback and a retest of that. So kind of the inverse of Euro. But again, I'm still treating DXY as kind of a larger range. And I'm looking at these two moves as fake outs. So fake out to the downside, fake out to the upside. This is more or less the high of the range, low of the range. Not really the most textbook range you'll see in the world, but overall, we haven't really gone anywhere. The average price of all this price action is pretty much, right there. We haven't had too much development or movement in the DXY in the space of a year. So I'm expecting price to make its way back to the high of the range or higher into the range, and I'm looking for a push into 104,500. So the move I'm kind of looking for the DXY is hopefully a pullback, retest, continuation. And there could be some nice opportunities if we do see a healthy pullback, retest some areas. This could be a nice possibility. Take advantage of some dollar strength, which means taking advantage of some, Euro USD shorts, Pound USD shorts, Aussie dollar shorts if this is going to pull back, New Zealand dollar shorts if this is going to pull back as well. Dollar Swiss potential longs there as well. makes sense to me too. So yeah, I'm still looking at dollar strength across the board, but overall the conditions are quite choppy. So looking for some dollar strength for some sales later on, and kind of look at the exact inverse really for Euro USD as well. But I would imagine we could probably see price continue higher. I mean, I don't really look at seasonality in my trading, but typically dollar is normally strong in January from my memory. But again, nothing that I really look at in my personal trading. Sculpey gold is starting to look interesting on lower time frames. Been watching on the 15 and 5 on 4 hour. We are holding support around 2015, so we could make short-term reversal. Yeah, potentially we are at a pretty big zone there on the 4H time frame, so I wouldn't be surprised if we do see some upside. Looks like potentially dollar could be looking to retrace, which could help out gold to see some upside. So yeah, on the low time frame there could be some shorter term buys. Again, for the reason I explained, I'm not really looking to buy gold myself from a swing perspective, but on the lower time frames there could be a buy to be had coming into this zone. We've already seen multiple rejections of this area. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see another push back up again. By the end of the New York session, we could be seeing price trading around 2040 potentially. So do watch out for that. But yeah, for me, gold, I'm kind of just sitting my hands, waiting to see if we can break through some key lows, and then potentially I might be interested in some shorts. But quite frankly, gold and silver not really on my watch list as of this week or really this month. Silver has just been very, very chaotic. We had a nice move to the other side, failed to take advantage of that move. Didn't really see the pullback I was looking for, but since then the market has rejected that pretty aggressively, and now it's kind of just up and down. So yeah, silver for me is just a little bit choppy, or too choppy for my liking. Gold I still do like, but as I said, we need to start breaking through some lows before I can consider shorting. Hopefully that can develop quickly. FX Wolf 1.78696. Is that your target for Euro NZD? 1.78786. Okay, so it's pretty much back to this low that I would assume, or at least in that vicinity. So yeah, that would make sense as well. I would imagine Euro NZD does look likely to see that move as well, to come and test those areas, and that's kind of where I'm waiting for price to get to before I can start looking to short as well. So I'm actually hoping price does that move for your sake and for mine. I'm short Aussie dollar and Euro 50. Okay, long Euro CAD. Let's go. Okay, we'll go take a look at some of those pairs. What's up, JG? Welcome to the stream. How many trades do you take per day? Let's say your confidence is a line of 5 pairs. Would you take them all? I wouldn't take them all. It does depend on which pairs. Which 5 pairs have developed, and it does depend on which 5 pairs that have developed. I wouldn't take all 5. The most I'll probably have at one point is 3. I probably wouldn't look to go past 3, especially with how I'm looking to manage my trades this year, which is trying to stretch trades a little bit further, which means I'll be in trades longer, so I don't want to be get myself overexposed or over leveraged. So I'll probably have max 3. My normal rule is max 2, but I'll be increasing it to max 3 this year. But yeah, it does depend on the pair. So for example, if all 5 pairs is Aussie dollar, Euro dollar, pound USD, dollar yen, so if they're all like dollar related, then I wouldn't of course look to take all 3 of them. I'll probably take 1 or 2 and then save the other bullet in the chamber for another pair which is not really correlated. Because again, if I'm going to take all 3 of those pairs, they're either all going to work or all going to fail. So I wouldn't kind of overexpose myself that way. But if it was like gold, NZD CAD, and like Euro yen, then yeah, I'll take all 3 at the same time. But again, I don't really take average trades per day. My average is more per week or per month. Let's say it's a better way to calculate the amount of trades I take. Last year I averaged a little over 1.5 trades per week. So about 6 trades-ish, 6 trades per month. But yeah, that vary because the second half of the year I probably averaged closer to 4 trades per month, and the first half of the year I was averaging closer to 8 trades per month. So I was taking about half the trades. I was taking about half the trades I was taking in the second half of the year as I was in the first. And again, it depends on the conditions of the market. If the markets are right, then of course I'm going to be a bit more aggressive, take more trades. If the market conditions aren't good, then I'm going to be a bit more conservative. So the market will dictate how often I trade. But I tend to not try and cap myself apart from having too many positions on at once, just in case I overexpose myself. And again, things can happen, crazy moves can happen, and things can turn sideways very, very quickly. Even if you do have a stop loss in place, sometimes you can get badly exposed. If the market gaps 100 points against you, then you get filled at a way lower price. Things like that can happen. Of course, very infrequent, but they can happen as well. So I try not to be in too many positions at once, and normally I'm not anyway. But if I ever do get into a situation, I do cap myself. Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not a very active trader. Day traders or scalpers probably have 1 or 2 positions going on every single day. So yeah, from that perspective, I'm quite conservative, but yeah, I would cap myself at 3 trades. Okay, so I will take a look at Aussie dollar, Euro 50, and Euro CAD. Morning Spike, welcome to the stream. Hope you are doing well. Matt2645, welcome to the stream. CAD, Yen, shorts, any thoughts? Okay, I'll take a look at them. Let me go through these pairs first. Okay, so Aussie dollar's had a pretty big move to the downside, looking very, very bearish as of late. So Aussie dollar, it's an interesting pair because we are still placing in major swing highs, as we can see, consecutive lower highs since March 2021, still consecutive lower highs. So overall, I'm kind of bearish on the pair. However, the market isn't necessarily the cleanest trending market. It's very, very corrective and is losing momentum a little bit. So I'm not too sure if we'll get back to this low point, but that's kind of the direction that I'm looking to trade in overall. However, now's not the time to be looking to short the market. Closer to these areas is the time to short. And I actually was looking to short, but I didn't get a setup that fitted my criteria. It was a pretty climatic reversal. It was a big move up, big move down. Didn't really give me much opportunity for a break and retest anywhere. So didn't manage to get into any shorts closer to that area. But since then, we've kind of melted the downside pretty aggressively. And you can see for Aussie dollar, it's almost like a big consolidation, really. If you ignore the kind of the lower highs there, we haven't really gone anywhere for a while. So closer to these areas here, a lot of buyers will be sitting, and there potentially could be some shorter term buy opportunities back up again. So that's kind of where I'm at with Aussie dollar. There might be some shorter term buy opportunities coming back into these areas, and then I'll see what we do at these prices. Maybe we come back down again, maybe we break back up higher. But I was looking to short Aussie dollar, but closer to 0.654, 0.65. These are areas where I would rather be looking to be a buy than a seller. And again, I'm not expecting price to absolutely fly to the upside, but naturally speaking, we could be seeing some opportunities to buy back up again and take advantage of some shorter term buys, maybe come back and retest some of these areas here. So that's kind of what I'm looking at for Aussie dollar. Of course, at the moment, everything is still very, very, very bearish. So the buys still need time to develop. And we still could be looking to drop even further before we do see some upside as well, which actually would be nice, to be fair. I like it. The market is just a bit more stretched. Normally means we have a nice opportunity to catch the spring back up again. But yeah, Aussie dollar, I'm looking for buys closer to these areas here. As I said, at the moment, everything is still extremely bearish. So need some development before I can consider looking to long, and then I'll be interested in taking the pair up again. Still kind of a shorter, medium-term trade idea, but nothing too crazy. So that's kind of the plan I have with Aussie dollar. And if we do see a push up high, then again, there could be some nice sells to come back down again. So that's kind of where I'm looking to position myself. Shorts closer to 0.668, buys closer to 0.65. Okay, so how far are you looking to push the short as well for Aussie dollar? I'll take a look at Euro 50 and Euro CAD as well. Go for CAD yen. Yadish, are you a full-time trader? Yes, I am. John, good morning. Hope you're good. I'm doing good. Hope you are well as well. Miguel, hello mate. I found your channel recently. I like the way you see the markets. Can you please take a look at dollar Swiss? I'm looking to buy 0.85764. Sure thing, we'll take a look. I'm glad you're enjoying the channel, Miguel. That is great to hear. How did you find the channel? Was it through Trade Nick, or did you just stumble upon a video? But either way, welcome. Okay, let me go take a look at Euro 50. Not really something I look at too much, but might as well. Is it Euro 50? What's the Euro market called again? Stocks. I mean, not stocks. What am I doing? Indices. Yeah, what's the Euro market called again? The Euro index. I thought it was Euro 50. Or am I just being a numpty right now? Probably gone past it, haven't I? Yeah, I have no idea. I thought it was called. I mean, is that it there? Can't be it. No. What is that? Euro currency index. Don't know what that is. But yeah, what's the Euro market called again? Euro. Oh, EU 50. That's it. I was adding my bad. Okay, so we had a nice little retest. Okay, I remember last time I was speaking on this one, I was looking for price to break back above, test that support, and then continue higher, but looks like we never had the breakout. Price just rebounded the level, held that as resistance pretty well, and price is looking pretty bearish again. For me, this is still just a correction, a large correction. I would be keeping my eyes peeled. Some of these areas here, we could be seeing bounces, even a deeper pullback into this level. I wouldn't be surprised as well, because looking at how the market moves, it does have pretty steep corrections. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do come back to 42.50. You can see after we took out that high there, pretty steep correction, just about taking out the high there, pretty steep correction as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do come back down and see something like this happen again. So yeah, I mean, overall, it looks like we are going through a deeper correction. Did you say you're short on it? Yeah, so you're short on this one. Okay, so looking healthy right now. As I said, I'll keep an eye on these areas here and this area here, depending, of course, how far you're looking to push the trade. But those are areas where some buyers will be sitting naturally. But yeah, I have to say it's looking good. Overall, I would expect us to eventually go bullish. So maybe from this area or this area down here. So I would be aware of these levels depending how you manage the trade, whether you got targets or you're just trading your stop loss along. But closer to 43.60 and 42.40, I'll just keep an eye out for those areas because we could snap bullish at some point. But overall, yeah, looking pretty bearish. And EuroCAD, EuroCAD I still don't like, to be honest. I still don't know what you guys are seeing in EuroCAD. The price action here is atrocious. We've got a bigger, larger range, and now the market's kind of ranging within the range, and that's just calamity for me. I don't like that price action at all. I did say yesterday that if price is to break higher or break lower, then there might be a remote opportunity, if anything, on EuroCAD, a break and retest. Maybe if we see some momentum on the breakout, looking to ride that momentum back to lows or back to highs. So that maybe, but at the current price, I'm not really seeing too much here for EuroCAD. It does look like potentially price starting to form a higher low, maybe looking to break higher, but yeah, I would wait for price to break the high first and then look for some pullbacks. A little bit of a safer opportunity, because again, we could still hold the high and come straight back down again. But it does look like we're kind of seeing a ball shaped pattern here as well, so it could give us a move higher. But yeah, I would still wait for that high to go, and then yeah, retest and buys afterwards make a little bit more sense. So that's kind of where I'm at with EuroCAD. So overall price action is hectic, but if we can break the range, then things do get interesting. Again, things can happen very, very quickly. Ranging now, but this time tomorrow we could be comfortably trading outside the range. So I would keep an eye out for that. Okay, I'll go take a look at CAD yen. I'll go over dollar Swiss for Miguel. What did you do before trading? I didn't do anything before trading. I came out of university straight into trading. So yeah, if what I did before, I would say I was at university. I was watching a video about trading and you showed up as recommended, so I took a look. Hey, nice. That's the YouTube algorithm helping me out there. KJ in my eyes, forming a wedge on the 4H and a possible right shoulder on the daily chart. Okay, I'll take a look at CAD yen now. Abdil, check gold and pound USD. Okay, I'll have a look. Raghav Roy, what is up? Pound JPY. I haven't looked at pound JPY yet. I will have a little look. See. Okay, so CAD yen, talking about a potential right shoulder. So yeah, I've been pretty bearish across the board for the yen pair, still looking at shorting opportunities, but these guys are still pretty bullish. So again, I have to be careful before I burn myself with these. But as we can see for CAD yen, we're comfortably trading back above 108. So that for me is a bit of a red flag for the sells. I was saying in my weekly analysis this week, if price does break back underneath this area, then things do become interesting, because we could be seeing a bit of a fake out, potentially a third lower high, so 1, 2, potentially 3, and then yeah, some short underneath that level make a lot of sense, and the break and retest of that area. However, we haven't seen that. Price right now is actually comfortably holding that as support, and if anything could potentially give us a move up higher. I think you're talking about the left here, the head and the possible right shoulder, which I do see. If I take that across there, we are coming back into the area of that potential right shoulder, and the way we're moving is pretty corrective as well, which is another reason why I do like the yen pair, because they're all pretty corrective. Again, you can see the way the market is moving, which I think is the wedge you're talking about. It's still very, very corrective, which typically means well, that doesn't typically mean, which typically does, we do generally see a reversal of these type of price action, not really a healthy trend in this ascending way. And similar to like Euro Yen as well, very corrective. Well, CHF JPY is very corrective, but that's just created new high. New Zealand Yen, Aussie Yen's pretty corrective as well. So there is a lot of kind of corrective characteristics to the way the yen pairs are moving. However, price is still bullish and still hasn't really taken out any key structure or any key lows. So I am looking for downside for them, but lows like this do need to go. If we can see a move back down, taking that structure, then yeah, sales on the retest of that make a lot of sense. And this here would be a very, very high quality trade, because at that point, yeah, we probably are getting that right shoulder. We probably are seeing the third lower high, 1, 2, and 3. And at that point, we've broken structure and we're back below this 108 level. So there's a lot of confidence pointing towards more downside at that point. But of course, we're not even close to that situation yet. And if anything, price still may just continue all the way back up to 110, 500 or 111. So yeah, sales do look good for CAD-Gen. I'm with you with that one, but we need to be patient and not try and jump the gun prematurely when there's nothing really there to short, and when things are actually looking remotely bullish at the moment. So I would say for CAD-Gen, sales do look good. But I would wait for price to break underneath 108 first, or at least take out some structure, and then I'll start looking to short. But I have to say, I do like the idea. Just there's work to be done for CAD-Gen before I would look to sell. And again, you could look to sell at the right shoulder, potentially anticipate the third lower high, anticipate the right shoulder. Risk reward, of course, will be a lot more favorable, but the risk and the aggression on the trade is a little bit higher as well. Of course, you still be risking your normal risk, 1% or whatever, but the likelihood of price, suddenly dumping to the downside from that particular price point isn't very, very high, or at least isn't as high as if you would wait for a break of structure than a sell. So it's up to you how you want to tackle it. Just because a trade is aggressive doesn't mean you shouldn't take it. It just means it's a bit more aggressive, so the probability of playing out is lower. If it does play out, happy days. If it doesn't, it's just a loss, on to the next position. But that's kind of my take on it. I'll have a look at dollar Swiss next. We'll go through pound USD gold as well, pound yen. Where was I? Manny, welcome to the stream. I'm doing good. Hope you are doing good as well. Can you take a look at USD, Euro Yen? We'll take a look, no problem. JG, Miko, my problems is I catch some nice trades, but I take so many trades in a day that end up wiping my gains to even losses. Kindly advise. I'm stuck on this stage. Yeah, many people are stuck on that exact same stage as well. You have to realize that trading is not about necessarily taking trades, making money, and taking trades, making money. A lot of trading is taking trades, making money, but a lot of it, as I was touching on yesterday, is about keeping money as well. A lot of traders, well, pretty much any person can get onto the chart, click a button, and be right. Click buy, come back in the next hour, close the trade, and they could be up some profit. So the actual action of placing a trade and winning trade is not necessarily you don't necessarily have to be very, very skillful to do, because it's just probability at the end of the day. If you click buy many times, eventually one of those buys will be a successful trade. So the skill set is not necessarily in taking winning trades, because even if you're a very, very poor trader, you eventually will take a winning trade, because probabilities will eventually line up in your favor. The real kind of trick to trading is keeping your profits, keeping the profits you make and keeping the losses minimal. Because if you're going to hit a nice trade and hit whatever 5R or whatever, but this time next week or next month or next quarter, you've given back those profits completely, what was the point of making the 5R in the first place? You have to be able to protect your wins like it's your original capital at stake. So my biggest advice to you would be 100% look to reduce the trades you take, because if you're consistently taking trades, you're consistently exposing yourself to the markets, and therefore you're consistently allowing the possibility of losing money or losing your gains. Because if you're always in the market, there's always a probability that trade could fail. So you have to be able to reduce the trades you take and protect the wins you have, and of course protect your downside as well. If you're in some drawdown, reduce the trades you take as well, because you won't be into deeper drawdown. But I would say put like a max limit of trades you take per day. So I would say 1 is always a good kind of place to start. You got 1 bullet in the chamber per day. It promotes you looking for a high quality trade, because if you have 10 bullets per day, if 5 of them are low quality, who cares? So make sure it's make sure you're focusing on high quality opportunities, and just setting 1 trade per day can help promote that. And of course, when you do hit that 1 trade per day, whether it's a loss or win, you come back the next day. So if it is a win, you have whatever profits you banked, and at least that is in the account, it's banked, it's safe, and then you come back the next day, so you don't have to worry about giving that profit back. And even when you do lose, you don't have to worry about going into deeper drawdown or giving too much profits back from another day because you've only taken one trade. So I'd say my biggest advice is lower the risk, and set kind of self-management rules in place for when you generally become on tilt. So if you've had 3 losers in a row, typically that is a good place to say, okay, I'm done for the rest of the week, because after 3 losers, you're kind of not so much focusing on the charts. You're more focusing on, I need to get back the 3 losses. I need to get back this and make the profits back or whatever back. So I would say 3 losses is kind of like a good place to cap for the week, and then come back the next day. And again, with the 3 losses, say you made 5R, 3 losses, you give back 3, you're up 2. At least for that week, you're still rolling over with the 2R into next week. You're still protecting your profits to some degree. So yeah, make sure you set things in place for when you configure yourself going until. It might not be 3, maybe 4, maybe 2. That's up for you to set, but 3 is a nice place to start with, and then see how you feel. If you're very emotional after a couple of losses, you can reduce it. If you're not very emotional, you can still think systematically. And again, only you can dictate that, and you have to be honest with yourself. If you can feel yourself slipping, then be honest with yourself. Maybe it's time to call it a day or call it a week. But yeah, you just got to reduce the trade you take substantially. Reduce it to 1. You can increase it back again, but if you find yourself making money then giving it back, making money and giving it back, then you're just taking too many trades, because you're giving too much opportunity for the market to take back the profits. The hardest thing is keeping your profits, essentially, because like I said, anyone could be right and take a winning trade. It's not really a big whoop to do if you hit a winning trade, because anyone could do that. But keeping the profits, that's a lot harder. Because that's managing your risk, managing your downside, and managing your upstairs, your mental game. So hopefully that helps. Okay, let me go through dollar Swiss. So dollar Swiss, Miguel says he's looking for some buys. Looking to buy at 0.85764. 85764. Okay, so more or less around this area here. I would imagine maybe on the top of that wick there, coming back into this area. I'm expecting a similar move as well. I'm personally longer term bearish on the pair. I'm looking for this huge move to retrace and then continue bearish. If I draw the Fibonacci and make sure we can see it, you can see we've got the 50 up there. So I'm kind of looking for dollar Swiss to make its move all the way up to 0.875, 0.87 before I start looking to sell back down again. So after we've seen this impressive break to the upside, there could be some nice short/medium term opportunities to take advantage of this momentum here and take advantage of a move back to that area. Maybe tag the 50% on the fib, and that's where we can start looking to start selling off again potentially. So yeah, I do like the idea of more upside for dollar Swiss. We just closed back above a key low there, and of course we've seen this nice impulse correction/consolidation of the impulse up again. So I'd imagine there's more upside, and I'm kind of looking for the same thing on the DXY as well. If we can get a nice correction, that would be nice, and a continuation higher, impulse correction/consolidation, another impulse again. That looks like a nice opportunity in my books there as well. So yeah, I have to say I fully agree with that dollar Swiss opportunity there. And then yeah, looking to sell closer to those areas if we do eventually get there as well. So that's kind of my thought process there with dollar Swiss. Pound USD shorts, yeah, we'll take a look. I'll have to go through gold first, and I'll take a look at pound USD. We'll go through pound yen, euro USD, euro yen as well. Yep, I had a look at Euro index few minutes ago. If you scroll back 5-10 minutes, you'll see the analysis to that. Pound yen, I was supposed to take a look at that one, wasn't I? I'll go through gold and pound dollar first, and then I'll take a look. So yeah, as I said, for gold, I'm not really interested in this pair unless we start breaking through 2020-ish, which is the current level of support we're trading at right now. So as I've been saying, big level we're trading in right now for gold, big level. So I'm not really looking to buy the market unless we break above it, and that changes everything. But we haven't done that yet. So I'm looking at sell opportunities. The market is starting to print some lower highs here, as we can see. So already failing to continue bullish as well. So if you can start breaking through 2020, I think there is a pretty nice target for us back down at these lows. But a pretty smooth move up. Could see a pretty smooth back down again, back into this area. But this level has to break first, which at the moment is holding pretty firmly. Of course, we've had a few rejections prior, so it's a pretty strong level. But if you do see a confident break of this area, retest, continuations back to the lows make a lot of sense. Try and look for the next lower high, 1, 2, potentially 3, and a move back into the lows there. So yeah, because of how gold is shaped up in the higher time frames, doesn't really make too much sense for me to be looking to buy from a swing standpoint. But if you can start breaking structure, looking for the next lower high, sales do make sense to me. And as I said, these targets look good as well, around 1980. So yeah, shorts look good for gold. Pound USD, again, I'm not really a big fan of pound USD because it's in a range. I know a couple of people looking for some shorts in this area here, and again, it does make sense. We've had a pretty nice move to the downside. We're just about taking out these lows here, and now we're pulling back to retest those areas there. So I can see some sense in that for pound USD, but I have to say it's just very choppy market conditions, and overall in this area it's kind of like no man's land for me a little bit. So I'm waiting to see if we can break the range and then look for some retests and shorts to take advantage of some dollar strength. But at the moment, I'm not really a big fan of shorting pound USD because of the conditions of the market which we have seen. Not that this move can't happen, it's just that the conditions aren't great. So we might be seeing price kind of fluctuate, maybe fake higher, then come back down again. I wouldn't be surprised if we see something like that happen. And then at that point, once we do see price break through, then if we do see a pullback, I'll be interested in shorting that, because at least at that point we're outside the range. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at for pound USD, more downside, but yeah, price action is just a little bit choppy. I can make sense to the breaking retest here. There's some decent momentum breaking through, but yeah, conditions aren't great. Conditions are not great, but we are starting to see some rejection there, so I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, so let me take a look at pound yen. So last time I looked at pound yen, that was flying. Still looking pretty strong. So of course we had the pound news this morning, and pound's very strong, reacted very strongly to it, and pound yen pushed higher hard. And yeah, we just cleared past 186. Next stop looks likely to be 188.500, back at the highs there. So if you're looking at some opportunities for pound yen, I'll be looking at pullbacks and continuations back to the high. I was interested in some sells for this one this week, but I had to wait for price to break through 184 before I consider selling. But it doesn't look likely we're going to make that move anymore. So I'm backing away completely for pound yen. I'm still waiting for a bigger counter trend move, but at the moment the buyers, the bulls, are comfortably in control of the market here. So if you're looking for pound yen opportunities, breaking retest of these areas make the most sense. And pretty clear targets back at the highs there, 188.500. Or if we were to pull back, let's say from here, that could also make for a nice target as well. Don't necessarily have to push it back to the highs, but yeah, pound yen for me looks like a really nice buy opportunity back to the prior highs. Yen is very weak. Pound's of course seeing some strength. Will that continue or not? That's a different story. That's a different question. But at the moment, bullish structure is firmly in control. Okay, so I'll go over USD and Euro Yen next. There you go. Yeah, that's what I'm looking. That's what I'm looking. A little counter trend with a small risk to then sell. Yeah, that is exactly what I'm looking for. Let's see if we can get those opportunities materializing. Lauder, US retail sales later might help with further setups on dollar pairs. Yeah, that's kind of what I look at the news for, really. Catalyst for setups, catalyst for things to set up, structure to break, markets to pull back, moves to happen. That's kind of how I view it. So news most of the time is a good thing. It's just only bad if you're in the wrong direction, you get slipped. But hey, that's the price you pay for trading the news. Okay, so then we can take a look at USD. So yeah, USD, as discussed previously, I'm still a bear of this market. I'm still looking this short, but closer to 1.79, which is this level up here. So I'm looking to see if price can continue a little bit higher back into this area, and then I'll be looking to short. 1.79 is the area of interest. So I think someone is in a buy. I can't remember who, but someone is in a buy. And I would imagine price is likely to continue higher. And when we get to these areas, that's when I'll start eyeing up for some sells. Again, doesn't have to be specifically that level. Price may look to break a little bit higher. We do have this trend line here, which price may go and look to tap into before selling off. And again, just basically in this vicinity, it's kind of where I'm looking to position myself short for a move lower. So that's the plan for USD at the moment. I want to see a bit more upside before I do start looking to sell. There could be maybe some buy opportunities if the market is going to pull back. We already had a kind of a miniature pullback there yesterday or maybe the day before, but we could see something like this before the market does continue higher as well. So that could be a shorter term opportunity. But yeah, for me, USD still looks really, really bullish. And then hopefully we can push into 1.79, and then I'll start looking to sell. Euro Yen I'll take a look at next. JG, thank you, Miko. Definitely, I'll take your advice. No problem. Happy to help. And again, we all go through those periods. No one's born a profitable trader. We will have to go through those trials and tribulations as well. So most things you're going through, I would have gone through it 100%. But yeah, the biggest battle is with yourself as well, which is difficult, but it's a good thing because it helps you kind of in multiple areas in life. But it's not like boxing per se, where you have to beat the opponent. It's kind of like you versus them. But in trading, it's definitely you versus you, because most of the time it's self-sabotage, which does make traders fail. The stats are so high of most traders failing, not because the market's so difficult to trade, but it's because a lot of the time we just sabotage ourselves because of the freedom we have in the markets as well. We don't really have so much constraints. I mean, prop firms do put some constraints on you, but as we can see from their stats, it doesn't really look like it's doing too much help. But even trading a personal account, you got the freedom of the account to do whatever. If you're in 50% drawdown, who cares? Well, you would care, but it's not like you're gonna put things in place for that. A lot of the time it's just a lack of discipline, lack of organization. And again, that's going to happen in the beginning, but over time, as you build experience, you realize you need to prioritize those habits, those aspects of your trading, those aspects of yourself, and that's what's going to keep you in the game for the long run. But again, a lot of trading is taking one step back to take 2 steps forward. A lot of trading is back and forth. There's been many times where I thought, I kind of broken through and I was finding some consistency, just mess up again, take a couple of steps back, and then eventually take 3 steps forward eventually. but it's all part of the journey. Okay, I'll take a look at New Zealand yen as well. No problem, Manny. Happy to help. Let me go for Euro yen. So yeah, Euro yen I was looking to sell. I still am looking to sell, to be honest. I'm looking to sell this guy. We've come up to some big areas in the higher time frames. As you can see, massive area of resistance supply. Huge moves to the downside from these areas as well. So I'm looking to see if we can see another move back down. Again, doesn't have to be this big. Potentially could be, but that's not really what I'm interested in. I'm just looking to see if we can capitalize on some counter trend moves. At the moment, Euro yen is still pretty bullish, as we can see. I'm looking for potentially a bit of a head and shoulder pattern to form, left and the head and the right. But you can see we are breaking through that resistance there. So what I'm waiting for Euro yen, as I said, coming to the week, was price to start breaking some structure, some lower lows and lower highs to creep back in. And then at this point, I'll look for some sells and a retest of the area and take some shorts back down again. But as we can see, Euro yen is still breaking high and still bullish. So for me to look for sells, price needs to come back underneath, and then I'll be interested in some sells, which could still happen as well. The shorts are still a big possibility, but we need to see price breaking back in and start printing some lower highs again. And then of course I'll get into some shorts, or I'll look to get into some shorts and targets more or less back down at 155 into the lows there. So overall, I'm still pretty short bias for Euro yen. Of course, price could still go high if it wants to and push back to the highs there. As we saw, the yen pairs and Euro yen itself is still very much bullish. It's in a bullish trend, so I wouldn't be surprised if we do still kick back to the highs. But I'm not really interested in the buys at the moment in time, especially coming back into the level that I just pointed out as well. So if we can break under, that'd be fantastic, and then I'll look to place my shorts. Okay, so I'll go take a look at Andreas, what's up? I'll take a look at your receipt, chef. No problem, happy to help. I'll go through New Zealand yen first. I'll take a look at Euro pound as well. And NASDAQ, I have to say, Euro pound, the price action for that one is absolutely horrendous. So I don't really have a bias for that one. I'll go over the pair, but I don't really have a clear-cut bias for that particular market. So yeah, New Zealand yen, it's just been very corrective. So although the market structure is still up, still fighting high. This is the daily time frame, by the way. So we're still seeing higher highs and higher lows. The market's still slowly pushing up higher. But do I want to buy this market? No, not really. I'm a trend trader, but I have to say the trend here is very poor because it's just very corrective. It's not really a healthy trend. We've seen some healthy trends previously. Now it's starting to become a little bit more sluggish. So I'm actually expecting eventually us to take a bigger dive to the downside. Of course, when will that happen? I have no idea. Could be now. Could be after a bigger move up. We could go and hit some big levels on the higher time frames up here first before we do see some downside. So that's up to New Zealand yen when that is to happen. But all I can say is that price action isn't looking too great for buys or for sells as well. The market hasn't really broken for any key structures, so I wouldn't look to sell. There could be some buys if you do clear this level here back to the high there. I wouldn't be totally against that idea. If the market can break back above this, that could be a nice little shorter medium term trade back to the high. I mean, I say short medium term, but you're still looking at about 100 pips there. Yeah, 98 pips. So you're still looking at a meaningful move there to the upside. If you can get yourself 30 pip stop loss, you're still looking at 1 to 3 there back to the highs, and there's a solid level. But you can see with New Zealand yen, very consistent with the higher lows here. Still hasn't broke structure. So if you do get back above this area, I wouldn't be surprised if you just see a nice continuation back to 91,400, sort of like Aussie yen as well. Still slowly fighting high as well. Again, I'm expecting eventually price to take a dive, but we may still push up a few hundred pips before that happens. So I'm not going to try and guess things. But yeah, New Zealand yen, if you are looking for some short, medium opportunities, I'll say buys are still your best bet. I wouldn't try and stretch the trade too far in these conditions because you can see the market does have pretty steep corrections. So this is definitely a market you want to be a little bit more aggressive if you take profit. Even just back to the high there can make a lot of sense as well, just in case we do reverse from this area here as well. But if you're looking to buy, I'll wait for us to at least crack that level there and then look for some retest. But yeah, that's kind of my my thought process with New Zealand yen. Not the best market in the world, but still fighting higher. And you can see a nice break and retest. It's not a bad buy on the 4H or hourly chart there. Okay, so I'll go take a look at Euro CHF. I'll go for Euro Pound Cook with Waffle. We'll take a look at Nasdaq as well. Okay, so Euro CHF seeing some upside, looking good. How's Pound CHF doing? Because that's the CHF pair I'm actually interested in, and dollar Swiss. Okay, so Pound CHF starting to come into some interesting areas now. So yeah, I'm still looking for a lower high to develop here at some point, and price to come back down. Essentially, just kind of continue this bearish trend there. It's very, very corrective, but it's coming back into a nice area where potentially we could form the next lower high. So I'm definitely interested with Pound CHF. Maybe if you can move a little bit higher, come back and retest this support level, that would be nice as well. And again, looking for something similar. But yeah, Pound CHF I do like. Euro CHF, not really, because Euro CHF just created new all-time lows. If I go to the monthly chart, you can see we've been falling to the downside forever. And as of late, we've just created some new all-time lows as well. So I don't really like trading at these prices, because again, we haven't been here before. If anything, I'll be looking for some counter trend opportunities. So if you were to break back above this area here, there might be some nice buys there. I wouldn't really look for breaking retest here, because again, we're at all-time lows. I'm not really looking to short price at these depths here. But again, it could hold. We could see price, come into this area and come back down again. It's just not in the best place for me to trade it, quite frankly. So yeah, for Euro CHF, I'd rather personally look for counter trend opportunities after prices creating new all-time lows. But yeah, we are coming to a pretty big level to retest it, which if it does successfully reject, I would imagine that we got a good chance coming back to the lows. But because of where we are positioned in the market, it's not really a trade that I'd rather take. I'd rather go for Pound CHF, which for this one is not at all-time lows, and it's still got a reason to keep falling as well, to go and take out these lows as well. So I'd rather switch my focus to Pound CHFs, coming back into a big level. It's pretty much a similar move. Pound CHF, Euro CHF, very similar pairs. Kind of do the same thing really across the board. So I would recommend taking a look at Pound CHF rather than Euro, but we can see what price does on the break and retest of that level. Okay, so I'll take a look at Euro Pound Nasdaq. Kingsley, what is up? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. I trust you're doing great. I'm doing good. Please watch your analysis on BTC and Pound JPY, possible move on the hour. Okay, we'll have a look. See, let me go through Euro Pound and Nasdaq first. So yeah, as I said, with Euro Pound, price action is absolutely chaotic. I don't really have too much to say with Euro Pound, to be honest. We're coming back into a pretty big level of support. Do I want to buy? No. Do I want to sell? No. So there's not really too much I will do with this pair, because again, I'm looking for trends. I'm looking for established trends in the market. There's nothing established about this one. I do have a kind of a bearish bias from a top-down perspective. I'm expecting eventually a move back to the lows here, but that's kind of a lightly held bearish bias, because again, there's absolutely no opportunity that I would look to sell. Still open to buys, but just because we're hitting support, it's not enough for me to take a buy. So yeah, with Euro Pound, I would have to favor some shorter term buys from this area, but it's nothing that would interest me into a trade. Price action is very, very chaotic here, I must say, with Euro Pound. Let me know if you're interested, or what you're particularly looking for in euro pound, but the price action isn't great. Okay, I'll take a look at Nasdaq. We'll go through Bitcoin as well, pound gem. Noor Hakim, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Andreas, I'm watching both. Also dollar Swiss. Okay, nice. What's your thoughts on dollar Swiss? You're looking to buy, short? Let me know. I'm also looking at dollar Swiss as well. Okay, so Nasdaq. So yeah, Nasdaq failing at the highs. Oh, did not mean to do that. Nasdaq failing at the highs. So again, it's an area where I'm not really looking to buy anymore. If I was looking to trade Nasdaq, we've kind of already seen a very generous move back to the highs. Now it's kind of a lot of profit taking going on, and maybe some nice counter trend sell opportunities. So that's kind of where I would be looking to position myself in the market, looking for some sells. But we have to be careful because again, the market is still bullish, and there's not a lot stopping us, seeing another big shift to the upside, something like that as well. So it's not really in the place where you want to buy. It's more of a place where you want to sell. But would I sell it just yet? No, not really. I suppose we do have some consolidation at the moment. Some equal highs and equal lows prices. Finding it hard to break through. Possibly if you see a nice impulsive break, there could be some sales back down again to the lows there. That could be something interesting depending how we break out. But yeah, I would just wait for more development with NAS. Like I said, we're in an area where I would start positioning myself short. Not really seeing an opportunity to short the market yet in terms of starting to look for entries and levels to trade from. But possibly a break and we tested the range might give some nice sells. But have to be careful because at the same time, you can still break higher and continue another leg there. Because again, everything's still pretty bullish for NAS. I don't see too much reason why we can't push up again higher. But that's not really the move I would be looking for at these heights, coming back into the all-time high. So yeah, I'll be more interested with the sells. And again, if you can break lower, that'd be fantastic. Okay, so I'll take a look at Bitcoin. We'll go through pound yen. I'm holding pound euro down. Do you mean pound euro or euro pound down? Because pound euro down would be buying euro pound. The inverse of that. So you're looking to buy euro pound basically. USDP, is that PLN? Yeah, USD PLN. Patrick, my Polish friend. Probably wondering how do I know you're Polish? I just do. But yeah, we'll take a look at USD PLN. What about Aussie Swiss? Okay, we'll take a look as well. Cook with Wafa, happy to help. Pound. Okay, you mean pound euro. So yeah, you're buying euro pound essentially. So yeah, looking for a bounce there. So yeah, we could see that. I mean, if anything, I would expect a bounce as well. But like I said, the conditions are not particularly great, or I don't really fancy the conditions there for euro pound. So I'm backing off, to be fair. But again, if it fits your plan, fits your criteria, go for it. Okay, so let me go take a look at where is it? BTC. Okay, so as I said with Bitcoin, we've hit a pretty substantial level here, 47k ish. I said if Bitcoin does break through 47k, I don't see much. I don't see a big obstacle in a way anymore. I think this is the last kind of, from a technical standpoint, the last kind of big obstacle Bitcoin has left. If we do break through 47k, I think it's just a matter of time before we come back to the highs for Bitcoin. Unless, of course, something unforeseen happens, we could see a crazy move at some point. But I would imagine Bitcoin is likely to see some retracement. You can see previously, the last time we were here, a lot of momentum came to the downside. It's a big level of supply resistance. and we have seen a pretty strong move down. So naturally, I'm expecting some retracement. We already had a pretty big wick rejection there as well. So my weekly analysis, I said if price can come down, that'd actually be a great opportunity to pick up some longs again and try and see the next higher low there for Bitcoin. I'm not too sure if we will have such a big pullback, however. We could be looking at some areas on the daily chart at this support level or at this area here as well. Those are all areas that make sense to pick up some longs as well. So I would watch out for those areas, but it would be nice around 35k. But yeah, I'm expecting Bitcoin to eventually start picking up bullish again from these areas. Just depends how deep price wants to retrace, but yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at. But yeah, I think once we do break through 47k, it's yeah, it's back to highs pretty much, unless something crazy happens and I don't know. Okay, so where were we? I'll take a look at pound yen. We'll go through USD PLN, Aussie Swiss as well. German, we trade pound euro inverse. Okay, I did not know that. ANS Miko, what do you think of compound interest? Do you use it or maybe plan to do that with a specific account for building long-term growth? I have been doing it, but I'm not too sure if I will keep doing it, to be honest, because at the end of the day, to compound something into a big account per se, you're going to have to be not taking any single withdrawal from that account, which I mean depends on your financial situation. If you got, I don't know, money set aside somewhere and you can afford to trade it and consistently trade it, and you got money coming in from somewhere else or whatever, then you can probably get away with not withdrawing a single penny, keep compounding. But I've always thought, early on in my trading journey, that I would start off account and just compound it, a few percent a month, keep growing it, add to the account as well, and by the next 5-6 years, I could be having a 6-figure account, and next 10 years or whatever, it will be multi-million pound account, which is true. If you just grow a few percent, maybe add some money every month as well, and don't touch it in terms of withdrawing, then with the next 5-10 years, you could be sitting on a 7-figure account potentially. But the way I'm looking at it now is it's very, very difficult to not withdraw a single penny, number one, because imagine you're trading an account, right, and you've been trading for the past, let's say, 3 years, and you haven't withdrawn a single penny from that account. Potentially that broker could shut down. Of course, you are protected to a certain amount depending what broker you're with. Hopefully it's a regulated broker, but depending which broker you're with, some brokers you're protected up to $80,000, I think. So if you're anything above that, you kind of screwed a little bit. So let's say you've been trading account for 3 years, you've been growing it, steady percent every month or whatever, and you haven't taken a single penny out of that account. Something could potentially happen that is not down to your mistake per se, in terms of, I don't know, not placing a stop loss or being over leveraged. Something could happen, a black swan event, absolutely obliterates your stop loss. You don't get filled at the correct price, or the broker shuts down, whatever. Things can happen with that account. So my kind of thought process over the years has changed with my money in personal accounts and in brokers. I'm kind of viewing as every penny I have in my personal account as potentially at risk. So I used to only view my money at risk as when I've got a trade open, but now I kind of view it at risk at 24/7, to be honest. So my kind of thought process now is kind of just withdraw steadily and as often as possible, really, because yes, compounding on paper looks good. You can compound a few years, you have a much bigger account. But particularly with trading, it's very, very difficult to do that and not take a single penny out and keep staying very, very consistent. I'd rather be taking my money out and paying myself. And if I do want to size up my account, is because I've got an X amount of money saved up. I can add that lump sum into my personal account and change it that way. So I've kind of pivoted from looking to grow from a compound perspective. You can still do that, but I want to take most of my profits out and pay myself as well. So that's kind of where prop firms come in and offer a very good opportunity, because if I can just extract profits from the prop firms, now I can just dump that straight away into my personal account. So I don't really need to be compounding anyway, because the profits I make from prop firms can just do the compounding essentially for me, without me actually having to leave money in and then trade the money that I make and then make more money from that, which is just it's a difficult process. But again, there's pros and cons to both sides of the coin. If you do extract money regularly, then your account is going to stay at whatever you deposited, and it's not going to really grow that much. If you do compound, then you're not going to withdraw a penny, exposing yourself a little bit. But then again, after a few years, maybe you had some big lump sums in your account. But prop firms kind of answer that question for me, because now I can just use money from prop firms, put that into my personal, still extract profits that I make, but I don't have to worry so much about compounding anymore. So yeah, my thought process is not really looking to compound anymore. I will look to scale my personal accounts over the years, but I probably will do that in kind of like intervals, like yearly or couple years. Look to grow the account by just adding more money to it rather than compounding, because I'd rather make money and then withdraw the money and put it in my bank account, because at least I'm not going to lose that money. It's in my bank, it's certified there, and you get to see the fruits of your labor a little bit as well. Because there's been many times early in my journey where I've had a £1,000 account, and I've grown that to like 1,200 or 1,300 or 1,400. I'm sitting healthy, and then a few months go by and now I've lost all that 400. I'd rather have just withdrawn that at the time. Okay, maybe I still would have gone into drawdown, but at least I still got that 400 to show for it. So that's kind of where I'm at now. BT to zero, so I can afford it. Yeah, maybe BTC might be kind enough, just a little flash crash to zero, get you involved and go back up again. That would be nice. Matt. GP Euro institutional cross border pair UK to Germany, Euro pound and GP huge volume. Yeah, I mean they're very similar currencies, so I don't like trading them because they do move very similar to Aussie New Zealand dollar. Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar, very similar currencies, so that's why it's quite choppy. Same thing with Euro pound as well. Those pairs, sometimes I do trade them if there's a nice move. If we're seeing a healthy trend, then yeah, I will look to trade. But it's far. What's the saying again? Far in between, fair few, far in between. I'm butchering it, but it's not often that I trade them. I mean an extra account which is not the initial one you use to withdraw your expense of living, but I understand what you're saying. I agree about the risk of broke shutting down, something like that. Yeah, you could have an extra account for it. Personally, I wouldn't. But again, the fact that I wouldn't doesn't mean you shouldn't. It just means I wouldn't do that, because I've got my main personal account, and the way I see it is that any money I extract from prop firms, I'm just going to be dumping that into my personal account, and profits that I make is what's going to go into my bank. That way, my personal account is still growing from the prop firms, and I can still extract money as well and pay myself at the same time. And I find that when I'm withdrawing money from my personal account, I'm just psychologically in a lot better space than rather I'm just keeping profits that I haven't touched for ages. Because even if I'm doing very well, you can't spend it. It doesn't feel right. But that's just me. Some people are perfectly fine to compound their accounts, And that's perfectly fine, and I bet it plays out well for them. I mean, the chance of the broker shutting down is quite slim as well, especially if you're going for a big regulated broker. The chance of that shutting down, it has happened in the past, but banks still shut down as well. We've seen that as of late as well. So having your money in a bank account isn't necessarily 100% safe. I would say it's safer than a broker, but there's still risk in a bank as well. So there's risk everywhere. You just have to accept which risk you're going to look for and take that route. But I wouldn't do that just because I wouldn't see any worthwhile, because if I'm going to start a small account and look to grow that, it's going to take ages before it becomes anything meaningful. And one day maybe it'll be worthwhile. But I'm quite happy with the situation I have at the moment, so I'm just going to stick with that. Maybe I look to change it, but I quite like just taking my profits and recycling that way. And again, it's just my preference. Some preference for traders would be like, compound is king, and I can see why it would be. I can see why it would be as well. But that's just my take on it. I mean, the overall goal is just to have a big personal account. Whether you've compounded it or whether you just got a lump sum of money to put into a personal account. The overall goal is to have a personal account, because then you've got kind of the constraints of a prop firm off you. Not necessarily so you can risk 10% per trade, but if you do get into 10% drawdown, the personal account is not gone. It's still there. You still trade it. It's not Mayday. So the overall goal is to have a meaningful size personal account, which if you're just making, even a few percent per year, it still covers all your expenses, really. That's kind of the goal to have. And just make it bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay, so let me take a look at some pairs I have forgotten. I said I was going to take a look at USD PLN, didn't I? And Aussie Swiss. Few and far between, that's it, Scalpy. Well, where would I be without you, my man? Appreciate it. Few and far between. What was I saying? Few in between or something like that. Horrendous. When calculating lot size, do you use the account balance or your original starting balance? I use my starting balance originally. So whatever my starting balance is for that particular month, I will use that balance throughout the rest of the month, and then I'll reset the following month after. Because I don't want to be adjusting every single trade, although there is sense to adjusting every single trade, because when you're doing well, you can risk a little bit more. Because let's say your account is 100,000. If you do well, now your account is 103,000. Now your next trade will be 1,000. Testing my maths a little bit here. $1,300 on the next trade there. Jeez, that was way harder than it should have been. I haven't used my mental maths in a long time. I've just been using my calculator. But yeah, it will be $1,300 in the next trade. So that kind of small increment will then, if your next trade is profitable, will make even more money as well. So there is logic to that. And of course, when you do take a loss, say you drop to 99,000, your next trade will be, of course, less than 1,000 as well. So there is logic to doing every single trade. You kind of, when you're on form, you're maximizing your strengths, but when you're going downhill, you kind of decreasing your risk, so you go slower downhill. If that makes sense. So it does make sense to do every trade as well, but I just do it for every month. Okay, so what was I doing there? I was supposed to take a look at USD PLN. I haven't looked at that one in a while. Okay, I have actually looked at it in a while. I looked at it down here maybe a few weeks ago. But yeah, the market overall is still pretty bullish, still seeing higher highs and higher lows. We have come back into an area where we're likely to see a bounce. So I remember last time we spoke about this one, I said if price can break out of the range, see a higher high, and we can look for a retest to buy. And now we've kind of seen that happen. So we have just about wick past that high there, but I then would wait for price to now get that retest in. Let me just remove my lines. So now I'll be waiting for price to retest this area, and this looks like a good buy to me in terms of targets. I'm not too sure if I'll push it too far, but I think this area here would be smart. Even this area there as well would make sense, around 4.06 and of course 4.11. But a really nice move to the upside. Now retest continuation, and this is a smart place to be looking for your entries. Again, as I said, we'll come back into an area where we're seeing consecutive high lows. You've now pulled back into a pretty big level of support as well. There's some confluence building up. We could see a move up. Potentially could mimic the previous move, back to these areas up there, but I would take it one step at a time though. So yeah, buys do look good here for USD PLN, Polish zloty. Okay, so where was I? Okay, I'll take a look at Aussie Swiss next. Tulip bulbs versus crypto. 4 hour very far, 50-minute all in. Yeah, I'm not too sure what tulip bulbs, isn't that a flower? I'm not too sure what's going on there, Anton. Anyway, Aussie Swiss. So yeah, Aussie Swiss still pretty bearish. We discussed this one yesterday actually. We have had a pretty, well, I was about to say aggressive breakout. It's not really aggressive. It's quite corrective, to be honest. But overall, the market conditions are still overall trending, and we are bearish on multiple time frames, monthly, weekly, daily. All the major time frames are still pointing down, and eventually, I'm still expecting us to go and take out this wick low, like its partner in crime, NZD-CHF, has done a while back. I'm expecting Aussie Swiss to follow suit. Euro Swiss has done it as well, taking out lows as well. CAD Swiss has done it, taking out in lows as well. Still waiting for Aussie Swiss to go and do it, and Pound Swiss as well, which is down here as well. So I do think there's some work to be done for those pairs, Pound Swiss, Aussie Swiss. Aussie CHF is looking likely that we're going to come back and retest this support level at 0.56. So I would say if you're looking for opportunities for this one, simply a breaking retest of this area would make a lot of sense. We broke out of this larger range, formed a slightly smaller range. Now we've broken out of that again. Retest of that area does make sense for some shorts to the downside and just kind of continue the bearish momentum we're seeing at the moment. That makes the most sense to me. Back to 0.562. So yeah, if you're looking for some opportunities, I would look for a breaking retest of that low there. Makes the most sense. Okay, where was I? In Holland, tulip bulbs rush on price in the 16th century, similar with crypto now. You're an interesting person, aren't you, Anton? Very interesting person. Some of the most intriguing comments on this chat have come from you. I had no idea that in Holland the tulip bulb rush on price in the 16th century is similar to crypto now. But hey, you learn something new every day, don't you? Yeah, surreal. Sam, do you trade live in the channel? Yes, I do. When I have a position, I will let you guys know. But yeah, trades have been scarce for me at the start of the year. I mean, there has been a few opportunities, but nothing really shaped up for an entry, apart from Pound Aussie. But yeah, I haven't found a position to take. Nothing's quite set up. I mean, we're seeing some nice moves this week. We're coming to some big areas on on multiple pairs actually. Pound CHF, pound Aussie, Euro Aussie. Some of the dollar pairs not too far away as well. Euro NZD, Euro AUD not too far away. I think I just said Euro Aussie twice. So we're not too far away from some big areas where potentially you could be seeing price reverse, and then that's the opportunity I'm looking to take. Aussie CAD looks like it's breaking out as well. That is starting to interest me for some sales. I'll wait for a little bit more downside before looking for some pullbacks, but looking for something like this for this boy. I know. Look on Google, check history. Anton, for some reason, I don't doubt you at all. I do not doubt you one single bit for some reason. I don't even have to Google it. I just have an inner instinct that tells me that you are absolutely 100% true. I'm not being sarcastic either. I absolutely believe what you just said there about the tulip bulbs. I don't have a single shred of doubt. Subbed and liked, appreciate it, Sam. Pound yen insight, yeah, we'll take a look. Guys, smash the like button, show your appreciation. Appreciate it. Hey, thank you, Laura, as well. Yeah, guys, if you are enjoying the stream, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. I'm live every week, every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Of course, going through the market, I share my trades for many trades. You guys share your trades if you want to, or share whatever you're looking at. Of course, I will analyze and drop my 2 pence in as well. And sometimes go on occasional, not rants, but lectures, I would say. I do enjoy a lecture. Okay, so pound yen. So pound yen, I was interested in. Wow, this one's still pushing. Is pound still strong, or is this like a combination of yen weakness as well? Let me take a look at some other yen pairs. Euro yen still pushing, dollar yen still pushing. Might be more the yen pairs than pound. How's pound USD looking? Pound USD still trying to push up higher as well. I would still say there's still strength in pound, still weakness in the yen as well. So a bit of a mixture of both. But yeah, pound yen is pushing hard. So I did say, now that we've kind of seen price really establish this bullish trend, pullbacks and retest of 186 makes a lot of sense. For some buys back into the high at 188,500, as discussed, everything is still pretty bullish for pound yen. Monthly, weekly, daily, all the higher time frames are still pointing up, and now we're still seeing strong bullish momentum back into the markets as well. So again, I'm not really focused on the buys. I'm more looking for the counter opportunities, but there is no bearish structure for me to trade at all. So the buys are still looking good, and I would imagine we'll like to go and test the highs again, maybe even new highs as well. So if we can get a pullback, and that's a big if, we may just continue to fly. But if you do see a pullback, for me that looks like a good trade idea back to the highs at 188. Share random facts. Yeah, there was pound news in the morning. It was CPI. I think it came out. Wasn't better than expected, was it? Was it better than expected? So yeah, the previous was 3.9. It was expected to drop to 3.8, but actually went up to 4. So well, that was the year on year. Which one's the month on month? So yeah, the previous was negative 0.2. They were expecting it to go up to 0.2, and they went up to 0.4. So yeah, pound has reacted very, very bullish to that. So yeah, pound is flying high. We also had Euro CPI. Did we? Yeah, we also had Euro CPI as well. But Euro hasn't really done anything, to be honest. Yeah, it's not really done much, to be honest. At least compared to pound, at least. But hopefully, I mean, we got some dollar news coming up. I'm pretty sure. Yes, we do. Retail sales at 130. So let's see what we've got cooking after that one. Then we got some more dollar news tomorrow as well. Some JPY news, a bit more pound news as well. Nothing too crazy, but enough to maybe give the market something to think about. So I would keep an eye on the news if you're trading today. CAD on oil export price from WTI. Yeah, I mean, with, of course, CAD and oil is very, very intrinsically linked. Of course, so isn't oil CAD Canada's main export, I think, or the most profitable one? I'm not too sure. I think it's their main export. Gold, yeah, we'll take a look at gold. Nasdaq. How many trades have you had this year? I've had one trade this year so far, Sam. Yeah, since, well, when did I take it? I took it last week. So yeah, one trade so far this year. Yeah, not too active, to be honest. Not too active. But again, it's a difficult one because with the frequency of my trading, it can fluctuate quite a lot. I mean, I remember this time last year, I've probably already taken maybe 4 or 5 trades this time last year. I remember the first week I already had like 2 or 3. The first week last year. But this year hasn't got me any. Has got me pound Aussie, but apart from that, hasn't really got me any good opportunities to take. Apart from that, and again, sometimes with the way I trade as well, I go through periods of a dry spell and periods where I'm taking maybe 3 trades in a week. So you know, if next week comes and I say take 3 positions next week, then it kind of averages out to a trade per week, really. So sometimes it fluctuates. Well, all the time it fluctuates, really. Can you take a look at GA? Yep, I'll have a look at pound Aussie as well. How long normally hold trades for? About 2 to 4 days is for my winners. Of course, losers I can be stopped out within the next hour. But for my winners, roughly like 2 to 4 days. But going into 2024, I think that will be up to a little bit. The plan is to look to hold trades a little bit longer. Okay, so I said I was going to take a look at a pair before pound Aussie, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, gold, oil, Nasdaq. I'll quickly go through those pairs. So as I said, for gold, still having a bearish bias, but at the moment we are rejecting support pretty well. So I'm waiting for this level to break. Focusing on these swing points, 1, 2. I'm looking for a third one, but of course, need to break through the low first, and then I'll look to short. As I've stated, we're in a massive level of resistance on the weekly chart. So I'm only interested in sells at these prices. So if you can break lower, I'm looking at some shorts back to 1980. Nasdaq, again, we're at the previous swing highs. We're at some big areas in the market where could be seeing some profit taking buyers who've taken advantage of this swing back to the highs there, looking to take some money off the table. Maybe we do go under some retracement. So I'm looking at some counter trend opportunities. Not really the best time to buy, so I'm more focused on the sell. Not really liking the opportunity we have now, but potentially we can see a strong break of consolidation. There could be some shorts to come back down again. Again, I would stress on the fact that we need to break to the downside of the consolidation, because price could still break high and still continue and make even even more new swing highs as well. Everything is pretty bullish here, daily, weekly, monthly. The trend is still very much up, so the shorts are still definitely counter trend, and I would be a bit more conservative with them. Oil, overall looking for a buy position for this one. We've been seeing a lot of consolidation for a while now. I said yesterday, if you can see price break the high, this could be a nice place to look for a pullback to retest. Or if we do see a move down, then we could be looking at buys at this area here, which is a pretty big level on the higher time frames, daily, weekly. As we can see, last time we were here, big move to the upside. Could see another reaction there to go back up as well. So I'm looking at buys for oil, but overall, I'm waiting for a bit more development before actually pointing out a buy opportunity. Yeah, my trade is a bit more long term, I'd say medium to long, Sam. Okay, I'll take a look at pound Aussie. So yeah, pound Aussie, I still like pound Aussie, but after the move we've had, taking out the highs there, I have to be a little bit more conservative with my shorts, because for coming into this year, I'm looking for a lower high to develop and another push back down, but we haven't actually formed that. We've actually taken out the high, so technically we formed a higher high past this point. And I was talking about pound Aussie yesterday, and I said the way that the price has moved, a strong impulse to the downside, brief consolidation, strong impulse back up again. Now, this is kind of like a V-shaped pattern, which normally does tend to describe prices likely to push higher rather than reverse back down again. So that was a slight red flag from yesterday. But now that we've taken out the highs here, that's a big red flag. So with pound Aussie, although we're still kind of trading in this big level of resistance here, I'm not really looking to short the market until I see a lot of development. It'll be interesting to see how this weekly candle closes. Do we close strongly bullish above the highs there? Maybe price is actually looking to continue back to the highs up there. Do we pull back down and leave a big wick? Then the sales look really good next week for a move back down, but we shall see. We shall see. At the moment, I'm kind of just backing off a little bit. I'm still bearish on the pair, but the fact that we are taking out the highs on the left and doing it so impulsively as well is not really a good sign that we're going to start melting to the downside. We still could, but probability is definitely reduced on the probability that we'll see a move down. So yeah, I'll see what happens. If we keep breaking higher as well, then yeah, I probably will be looking to change my bias completely and looking at something like that back to the highs there. But of course, if things happen, I will look to pivot. I'm not looking at on sticking with a bias and just trying to see it through. Although I would do, but price is now starting to validate that bias. So I'm taking it with a pinch of salt. Pairs like Euro Aussie, however, I'm still kind of bearish bias for. Pound Aussie kind of invalidating it a little bit, but Euro Aussie still coming into an area where I would look to short. Again, nothing really inviting me to short the market yet, but it's in an area where I would look to start to consider it and start looking for some patterns to develop. But yeah, pound Aussie, it's an interesting one. I'm really interested to see what happens with price, because we may actually be looking to come back to the highs there. I was very, very keen on the move back down, but that's been blown out the water now. So I want to see what the next potential idea is with this one. Yeah, I think the main area of interest for me is just kind of where do the daily candles close and how do the weekly candle close as well. Because if it closed way up, close to 1.95, then I'll probably be looking at scrapping my bearish bias altogether. And pound NZD is doing something similar. I was looking for this level to hold this week and a push back down. As you can see, price is completely breaking through. That doesn't mean we still can't move down again. Done that a few times today. Doesn't mean you still can't move down again. This is still our lower high. We still could see a move back down, but with the momentum we're seeing now, it wasn't really expected here. Expecting just to see corrective behavior, maybe a push up, but quickly come back down again, which still could happen. But we need price to show us it's going to happen, and not really seeing that at the moment. So yeah, I'm kind of just sitting on the fence a little bit. sitting on my hands and waiting for the next possible move for pound Aussie. Appreciate it, Sculpey. Laters, my man. Hope you have a great day. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm standing for pound Aussie. Hopefully we could see some development there coming into the later stages of the week, and maybe some trades next week. But I'm not too sure if I'll short anything with pound Aussie now. A little bit too aggressive for my liking. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for coming onto the stream. I really do appreciate it. As always, I will be live again tomorrow. Live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So I hope to see everyone back there again. If you have enjoyed the stream, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe. It really does help out the channel. It really does help out the channel. Subscribe. Subscribe, is that the right word? No. Check out my Telegram channel. Subscribe to join the Telegram. Yeah, join my Telegram channel. Link in the description to that. Not really selling that well there, am I? But check out the link to my Telegram there. I do post my trades, watches for the week, videos I create, tips as well, videos. I post streams as well when I go live. So make sure you check that out. If you are looking for a broker, I do have my affiliate link to IC Markets at the top of the chat there. So feel free to check them out if you are looking for a broker. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for coming to the stream. Really do appreciate all of you chatting to me and liking the video. Really do appreciate it. Like I said, I will be live again tomorrow. Have a fantastic day. I'll catch you all in the next one.
Anyway.